All right, so we are recording and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine Rich and I am the Resume Paint Marketing Director here at Sherwin-Williams. And for today's Pro Plus Business webinar training series, we're going to talk about how to navigate the color conversation with homeowners. I cannot think of another person who is better equipped to be my co-host today. Please welcome Sue Wadden. Sue, I'll give a quick intro and then she can tell you all about her fabulous self. She's a color expert. She's their director of color marketing for Sherwin-Williams Paint Stores Group. She is on the forefront of color philosophy and plays a key role in leading all of our color trends for the company. So Sue, will you take a minute just to tell everybody who you are and what you do for the company?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today, Christine. I love it. As Christine said, I'm the director of color marketing. And what that means is I've been working with Sherwin's for 25 years. Leading the direction on color trends, color philosophy. I work with homeowners and designers, our commercial accounts, obviously with painters on all things related to color.
So you know all of it.
I try. It's been a long time. Yeah, I've seen it all.
So as a reminder for everyone, this portion of our webinar is pre-recorded because technology can get a little glitchy sometimes. So a couple things I want to remind everyone, please use the chat feature to put your questions in that you have for Sue and I afterwards, because we're going to talk a little bit about some of these great tools that we have that you can help to navigate the color conversation with your homeowners. But then after that, Sue and I are going to join you live and do live Q&A. So that was my quick little commercial on that. So, Sue, I think something that a lot of people would be sort of surprised to learn about is just how at the forefront Sherwin really is on influencing trends. Can you talk a little bit about this before we jump into some of the specific tools?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sherwin is such a huge company. I think we don't know all the little nuggets of projects that this company works on at a global scale. So we're so obviously focused on our business, which is through our stores group. But we coat furniture, we coat plumbing, we coat appliances, we line the inside of pop cans, right? We create wood flooring. Like, we do so many finishes that go on all these really influential products that we're really starting to think about how to talk about that influence to our customers. For instance, like furniture in the design space, right? I don't want to mention a brand name, but we coat some of the biggest names that your homeowners are shopping in. So we know what those directions are. So when I say gray, we're kind of done with gray and that's moving out of the trend space. I know that because the manufacturers are telling us that, and we're working together on those insights. So it's really an influential kind of ecosystem of color. And so whatever we produce a material, all of that insight goes into what we share with our customers, and then you can share with your homeowners.
Yeah, which is, so again, another reason why we wanted to have this conversation, Sue, is we actually asked pros for all of our Pro Plus business training series, what do they want to hear about? And navigating the color conversation with homeowners was the third most selected topic. So I think it's great to have that background and for folks to understand sort of where you're coming from and how you use all of the knowledge you have into helping select and really influence the way colors go.
Yeah, and I think the important part to highlight there is like the trust factor. Whatever we put out into the world, I want pros to trust that we know what we're talking about, so that you can then share that insight with your customers and they can feel good about it. So I think that's what's most important in these pro conversations with homeowners is like, we got it. Use Sherwin-Williams as your trusted resource. They're in the know, they can really help.
Yeah, it's all about that color confidence because as we know, I'm sure this is no surprise to anyone. We do lots of research here, and you and I were sort of laughing about this earlier, that choosing color is homeowners' number one pain point. And I am sure that is no surprise to any contractor out there who has tried to hunt down a customer to be like, please select your color. I can't get started on the job until we have the color selected. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of that with homeowners over the years too, Sue.
Absolutely. There was a research project that happened. It was a few years ago now. And it was like about how long does it take a homeowner to finish a project? And just take a guess on that number, Christine. Like, what do you think that number is?
I mean, if I think about how long it takes my husband to do a project, 6 months.
Yes. So there's a number. It's 101 days. So from a homeowner thinking about a project till when paint goes on the wall. And the biggest part of that 101 days is color selection. And so even for homeowners that hire a pro, right, they're spending so much time thinking about color because they want to get it right. And so that's kind of where my brain goes, right? How do we help that process of that, time span of selecting a color get better and easier?
Yeah, because time is money for our contractors, and they want to stay on task and on track and all of that. So, okay, so the big question here is for our contractors. What if you could help homeowners find their perfect color without actually choosing the color for them? So comment in the comment section below the chat. We're going to have more talks about this, but what are you doing right now to help your homeowners kind of build that color confidence? And if you could do it right and help them, what would that actually mean for your business, your productivity, your close rates, your reviews and your referrals? We had a great webinar about ratings and reviews and referrals, and helping a customer build their color confidence is really part of giving a great customer service experience. So really trying to get folks to think about it from the very beginning of the process, right when the bidding starts, whether or not they've secured the job, once they've secured the job, and all the way through the process. Okay, so for today's goal, what we really want to help provide some simple solutions to our contractors. We want to help them close more leads. We want to help them position themselves as a trusted expert with homeowners. Sue, you and I know that homeowners want help. They want guidance and they want direction. And we also know that pros do not want to select color, right? That's a very risky game. We understand that.
Yep.
But again, how can we help you as contractors help your homeowners reach that decision a little more quickly?
Yep.
And then we also want to help you get jobs scheduled and started on time, and making sure that the color selection or the color matching process isn't slowing you down. So I think we've got some good things in store, Sue.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick question. You've been around this industry for 25 years. What are some of the most common questions you hear from homeowners about color?
I always get questions like, what's hot, what's trending? So that's kind of where I spend a lot of time thinking about what's next. What's going to be the color of the year? Like, what's the thing that's going to lead homeowners down a path to color, like getting excited about color? But that is oftentimes those trend colors are not the colors that people want to paint. They default to the things they're familiar with. So top whites, top neutrals, those are really like the workhorse of our portfolio of colors. So it's often like, what's our top white? Well, it's pure white. But it's interesting. I mean, trends even play in this space over time, because 10 years ago, our top color was Killam beige. And so for pros that know us, that's like a really beigey beige, like a builder beige. And, I haven't seen that color in our top 50 in, 8 or 9 years. So it's amazing to see, trends move fast. Some trends move fast, some go slow. So right now we're kind of in a white space. Homeowners love whites right now. Those are our top colors.
Sure do. They sure do. So yes, that is a huge one, is what's trending, what's hot, what are the most popular colors? We're going to get there. Yes. So today what we're going to do, Sue and I, you and I are going to talk through some of the most common questions that homeowners will ask a pro. Yep. And then we're going to provide solutions. So again, if you're joining us, please use the chat feature. Let us know in the comment section what questions you most often hear from your homeowners, and hopefully we'll answer them today. So the first one is the dreaded question, I think, that every single contractor hears is, what color do you think I should use? And it's funny, Sue, because I've heard a lot of different versions of a response to this. And again, look, we know that the contractor doesn't want to be on the hook for a color if a customer doesn't like it. So one contractor told me, he said, I tell customers, I'll paint polka dots on your wall. I don't care. You have to live with it.
Yep.
And when I heard that, I thought, wow, that doesn't sound like a great customer experience.
Yep. No,
I think we can do better, right?
Yes. And honestly, like, I have the same anxiety, right? When I recommend a color, people are like, oh, well, I mean, you told me this and I don't like that color. That keeps me up at night as well. So I think there's some ways that you can phrase that, right? I've seen this color applied on a wall and it looked really nice, or I've seen this, or take yourself out of that conversation and offer up other tools, right? That provided by experts.
Yes, so that is exactly the tool we're going to talk about. So when you hear that question, you can say, that is a great question. I want to make sure you love your space. You have to live here. So I'm going to recommend you get a virtual color consultation from Sherwin-Williams. So we call this solution phoning a friend who knows color. So our free virtual color consultations were something that was actually born out of COVID, out of necessity. But wow, it has really been such a game changer for so many homeowners and for pros.
Like we both have watched this program like grow out of basically nothing. I mean, it was an idea that has really like materialized into a program that truly helps homeowners. We have seen the success rate. We know the people that are making these consultations, like my people, right? These color professionals that are taking their time to work hand in hand with a homeowner to take that all of that pain away from pros. They're experts. They know our colors. They know the right light. They know the like application process. It's really concierge white glove service for color that nobody can match. It's awesome.
Yeah. And you know, what's interesting is that again, I'm going to go back to research. We asked homeowners who went through this process, did it increase your confidence in color selection? Over 90% said yes, it did. But what was interesting is that a lot of homeowners told us they ended up doing more rooms after they had their virtual color consultation because they were able to see how the consultant could kind of bring together a space. So I always laugh and tell contractors they're like a extension of your sales team because they can really talk the talk about color, product, and creating like a full rounded out project. So this is a great tool. So a couple things. It's 30 minutes. It's completely free. 30 minutes either gets 2 interior rooms or 1 exterior. I know everyone says, oh, people don't like to do it virtually. You can't see the color. You can't see the lighting. I want our contractors to think of this as like a color therapist because oftentimes homeowners have a sense of what they want. They just need that like little push, that little boost of confidence to say, have you thought about this or this? Every single virtual color consultation, they will get a digital color palette sent to them immediately following with notes. They'll also get chips sent to them in the mail, Sherwin-Williams color chips sent directly to their home based on the conversation they had with the virtual color consultant. So it really does help them get that answer faster of like, what color should I use?
And it would be nice to make it part of the bidding process. Like for me, if I were a pro, I would say that, I'm going to bid this job, but this is also something that we can offer you, though it's Sherwin-Williams, to make that like effortless so that you can get on the job and get rolling before and not worry about any of the time of color selection.
I am so glad you brought that up, Sue. So if you're a contractor, you might be wondering, okay, how do I do that? There's a couple different ways. If you are digitally savvy, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have your Sherwin-Williams account connected to Sherwin-Williams.com. If you're unsure about that, just talk to your sales rep, stop into a store. That's what we're here for, is to help you. And then you're going to want to download our Pro Plus app. In the Pro Plus app is something called our Pro Color Toolkit. I cannot tell you, every time I share this with one of our customers, they are like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so helpful. And the reason is because of the questions they get. What color do you think I should use? And they're able to provide that like higher level of service without just being like, I don't know. So within here, we're going to talk about the one at the very bottom. It is the free advice from a color expert. What's great about this is that as you could be on the job site, you could be, your sales folks could be on a bid, pull that up in the app and just click share, and it will email or text a link directly to the homeowner so they can schedule their appointment. Oftentimes we have appointments same day or at least within a week. So to your point, so if you do it early in the process, you're going to stand out from your competition because you're providing that better, white glove service. And then you're also going to show your customers that you do care and you want to help them. You just don't want to choose the color for them.
Absolutely. It's like, it is effortless. You've made this effortless. It's great.
That's the name of the game. The other thing we have is a sell sheet. So every single Pro Plus customer has the ability to create value-added marketing services or marketing materials, I should say, from their Pro Plus account. So we have various sell sheets on, a lot of folks know about the products, but they don't know about the services. So you can go into your Pro Plus account online, and I'm actually going to grab some screenshots, Sue, because I think sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed and they're not sure exactly how to create them. Right. Super simple. But you can create a flyer like this that talks about the virtual color consultation. Our pros can put their logo on it and their own contact information, so it looks really professional. And it just talks to the homeowner about what to expect and what a great service this is. That's so as a contractor, you can customize it and download it as a PDF and just email it to customers right with your bid. or you can actually take it somewhere and have it printed and include it in all of your sales material. So either way, it's a great value add for our customers.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through this part sort of quickly, but again, your rep or your store should be able to help you. But a lot of times people say, where do I find these sell sheets? If you log into your Pro Plus account, you should see a dashboard that looks like this. On the top right-hand side, you should see a little box that says menu. Click on menu, and then it'll pop up and you'll see all the way to the right something that says Pro Plus Tools. And you want to select that very first link, which says customizable marketing materials. From there, you're going to go to this really great site. If you've never been here, it is going to be a game changer. Lots of resources just for doing business with Sherwin-Williams. The middle section is called our customized sell sheets. So from there, you'll click in and you'll see the virtual color consultation sell sheet, product sell sheets, lots of other goodies for you to use in English and Spanish. And we also have great social media assets. That's probably a completely other webinar, but this is a great value add for our customers. I don't think a lot of people are taking advantage of, and they really should.
Yes, that's great.
So this is the pro tip. You kind of talked about it, Sue, but give a virtual color consultation sell sheet to every homeowner as part of your bidding process. That alone will help elevate your company. And then I love this tip too. You've given a bid, you haven't heard back from the homeowner. Follow up by texting your homeowner the link to the virtual color consultation and say something like, you know what, really love being in your home this week. Sometimes color can be tricky. Wanted to share this resource with you as a reminder. It's complimentary from Sherwin-Williams. I hope you go with us. When you're ready, we're here. I mean, that is so much of a softer sort of follow-up versus, are you ready to book? Which you can always ask as well. But again, just kind of elevates the experience. Okay, next question. This is a great one. How will I know if a color will look good in my space? And we suggest you try it before you buy. So this is where sampling comes in. And I'm gonna let you talk a little bit, Sue, about sampling, the right way to use samples, some tips and tricks that they can share with their homeowners. We'll go from there.
Yeah. So again, sampling is part of that sort of pre-job process, right? Before you get in on the job site and get going on a project, we want homeowners to take chips home, whether that's our peel and stick or our color to go, maybe both, right? Sometimes that's part of the process as well. I often say, grab some chips in the store, identify 2 or 3 that you like, grab a peel and stick, spend some time, put it up on the wall, look at it at different times of day, light, different lighting sources. And then maybe the final step is going to get a color to go to really paint a larger swatch sample so that a homeowner feels really great about the color before finalizing the specification. It's just a little, maybe it's a weekend assignment before a project starts, but it's really helpful because no one wants to make a mistake and they want to feel really good about their choices. And this sort of little bigger step makes a big, huge difference in the final outcome.
It really does. What's great about the peel and stick too is they're made with real paint and they can be moved and positioned on different walls. It won't peel off the paint behind it. So that's a really great option for homeowners as well. And there's a couple different ways homeowners can get them. So one is swsamples.com. We've got the most peel and stick colors available there, over 350 colors.
Right.
I know you and I worked very closely on making sure we had the most colors that we could there.
Yes.
Most stores will have our top 30 or top 100 colors. And then on the website, they can also order free the 2x3 chips and sent right to their door. So a really great option. One thing I've heard some pros do too is they'll just order a stack of some of their favorite peel and stick colors and even include that as part of their bidding process. So knowing that, here's Sherwin's top white, here's agreeable gray, the one everybody loves, they'll do that as, again, a little leave behind that really helps them stand out.
Agreed. Such a good idea.
Yeah. Or they'll get the color of the year, which I think is fun too.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you access the sampling? It's the same way. Go to that Pro Color Toolkit in the Pro Plus app, click on Tools at the bottom, and then this will pop up. And again, you can just either view or share via an email link or a text message the link to ordering samples online. So super simple, really nice, easy way. I will caveat, unfortunately, the Pro Plus app is not available in Canada at this time. We hear you, Canada. We love you. We are really hoping to get something to you soon. And something else is the ColorSnap visualizer. I think sometimes people don't think about this because, digital color is hard to see. And I don't really think anyone ever selects their final color based on a digital color. Wouldn't you agree?
I
But it's a way
totally
to kind of visualize it.
But it's like starting big and narrowing down the funnel, as we say, the funnel of color. And again, it's really important. So we're used to this, social media environment where we see images all the time of color. So it just makes sense that if your homeowners are checking out colors, maybe a few different ones, use this visualizer app to help narrow down that focus. Do I want a yellow? Do I want a blue? Oh, that's too much. I want to go with a white. Again, it takes 1,500 colors down to 3 or 4, right? So that paralysis of color selection can be a little easier, and it's really easy to use. So I use a visualizer all the time.
Yeah, I would say the one on the desktop version, the Sherwin-Williams.com version, is the masking or the matching up is really great.
Really
we've got
great.
something really exciting in the works for a upgraded app all about color that should be out by the time we go live with this. So hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit more in the live. One way I've heard some pros use this is for exterior jobs. So if you go into the ColorSnap visualizer online, you can either use an existing photo or you can take a picture of your customer's home, upload it, and then show the different color schemes and email that to your customer. And again, still do peel and stick, still do the sampling, but at least helps them visualize such a huge space and take some of that concern and that anxiety out of it.
Agreed, especially for exteriors. Exteriors are such a big financial commitment, right? To painting your
Yes.
house exterior. So it's just another helpful tool in the toolbox to make anxiety go away.
And to speed up the process.
Yes, exactly.
Got to get on that job, right? So that's a great tool. Oh, this is another question I love. This is one of my favorites. I want to match the blue in my kitchen. Do you know what color it is? Sue, how many blues do we have?
We have probably 250 different blues in all different ranges. Probably more than that. It's probably 300 anyway.
So do you think you could look at a blue and be like, oh, I know that's.
Yeah, after 25 years, I can probably do that pretty good, but that's,
Okay.
I'm a unicorn in that
Yes, you are.
capacity.
So if you don't have Sue in your back pocket, what you can get in your back pocket is the ColorSnap Match Pro. So this is a really neat device. It can be found in store online. And what it is a little, I don't know, color eye, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can explain it better than I can, but it's pretty simple. You download an app. It's got Bluetooth technology. You take the little device and you can put it on a wall, piece of trim. You could put it on a pillowcase if there's a certain color they want to look for. It will match it to the closest Sherwin-Williams color and sheen, which I know sheen is a whole separate conversation that can get tricky too, but it's really beats cutting off a chunk of the wall and then driving it back to the store. So
it's such great tech. And it's just so easy to use. So it basically reads the digital data that it sees, and then in through the technology, it gets closest to the hexacode of our digital code, and it links it up to a Sherwin-Williams paint color. I know that sounds obnoxious, but it's not just walls and trim. It's carpet or furniture or a pillow or a blanket or your grandma's photo or whatever that is. You can really take something that a homeowner absolutely loves, has affinity for, and then tie it up and link it to the next closest Sherwin-Williams color. It's a really great tool.
Yes, we love this one. It just saves a ton of time. Okay, this is the one we talked about. This is the question that you hear most often, which is, what are the most popular colors? And the solution we have is our top 50. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about this, how you view this and come up with this, and why these are sort of the tried and true.
So we have a lot of data, again, big company. And so what I do once a year is I do a deep dive into what we have seen and what's kind of people are tinting. So we take this tint data and we curated it across interior products, exterior products, regional products, and we come up with this list. And this list we update every year. And you can kind of start to see what people are picking, what their favorites are. It's a really helpful tool. In fact, I would order all of these colors and just keep them in your toolkit, right? As, it's like a fan deck. We could make something, kind of paper clip them together when you go on a job site that you have these colors to hand. These are like the go-to colors.
Yep, you can go on. I mean, there's contractors. You certainly can go on swsamples.com and just start ordering these chips. Have them sent right to your place of employment, your home. You could pop into a Sherwin store. The key is you really want to keep this link on you because it will come up with homeowners. I've even heard of some contractors creating QR codes and putting it on their bid sheet and saying, "Hey, scan this to see the top 50 colors." So
Yeah,
lots of ways to use this in marketing. And guess what? I know you're going to, oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, if you go back a slide, you basically then could go a little deeper. If your homeowners want to know like top reds, top blues, you can click in through color family. And that's also helpful too, like for painting a front door or doing an accent wall. Like you can take these neutrals, use them as their base, and then keep investigating on Sherwin.com to find more color information.
Oh, that's a great point. Because right, not everybody wants a neutral. These tend to float to the top, but great call out.
Yeah.
And again, a simple place to find these. It's online, but you can quickly link to it in the Pro Plus app, in the color toolkit. I keep saying it, but we wanted to make it super easy for contractors. We know you guys are busy and gals are busy. If something can be a click away, why not make it a click away? So the very top tool in here is our most popular colors, and it will take the customer or you can, view it and pull it up right when you're talking to the customer, right to that page with all of that great information. So great resource. Oh, this is another one that when I learned about the Sue, it changed my life.
Awesome.
So here's the truth. I am horrible distinguishing shades. Like I can never tell the difference between a black and a navy. So when I learned about LRV value, it really changed my life. So a customer might say something like, which beige is just a few shades lighter than this? I really love this blue, but I wanted a couple shades lighter, a couple shades darker. So the solution for that is something we call flip the chip. Yep. And I'm going to let you talk through this great little tip for everybody.
Yeah. So there's so much information on the backside of a chip. Light reflectance value, for those that don't know, it's the way light hits a color and then reflects off. So the higher the number, the lighter the color. Our brightest white is about a 94 LRV, which means it's almost pretty much like brilliant white. And obviously the darker is the lower the color. But again, using that as a criteria, if you even go by like degrees of 10, if you have say this is tinsmith, which is just a kind of a mid-tone gray, if you go 10 to 20 degrees lighter, right, or higher, you know that that's a lighter color value. It's set up similarly to how a fan deck is set up. So when you open the fan deck and you look at the gradation of colors, they're set up by light reflectance value, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. The other thing I love about the back of a chip is the complementary colors. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's something I didn't even realize.
Again, when we set up the ColorSnap system, we wanted to help in this process of selecting colors. So sometimes people are busy in store, or you don't have a color consultation scheduled yet. Sometimes just flipping the chip over and looking at the complementary colors that go with. Usually there's like a neutral, a white, and a deeper color. That's also like just a helpful starting point for the color selection process.
I've had homeowners, I've been in a store just doing visits, and a homeowner will say, I have this color on my trim. What would be a great, or I have this color on my walls. What would be a good white for the trim? Yes. I just went to the chip, turned it over, and saw that the white on the back, and I was like, this would be a great color for the trim. So it kind of takes some of that. It helps build your own color confidence if you're helping a homeowner. So it's a great tip. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about this additional piece of marketing material for our customers, because sometimes a homeowner will say, well, why do you use Sherwin-Williams? Help me understand why you use Sherwin-Williams. We created, again, this sell sheet, and you can go into the dashboard again and find those customizable marketing materials. You can put your logo on something like this. You can have it be part of your bidding process or just a leave behind for the homeowner. But it really talks about why you as a contractor use Sherwin-Williams and all of the things that Sue, you talked about when we first started, about, that level of confidence in a brand like Sherwin. So would you mind talking just a little bit about this piece as we wrap up before we get back to the live?
Yeah, I just think we as an organization want you as a pro to feel proud of Sherwin-Williams, and that we're partners together in this. So everything that we put out, I put out, you put out into the world, it comes from a place of like love and wanting to help homeowners make the best decision. Have the guidance, have the experience, have like the trust factor with Sherwin-Williams. That's really, really important to us. There's so many great people here that spend time thinking about product innovation or color resources or pro tips or how to navigate. We want all of that to kind of bundle together and become the trust factor. So you put your trust in us. We want homeowners to put their trust in us as well. And that's a big part of the conversation of why we're here today.
Yeah, and put their trust in you as the contractor, and
Yes.
saying, I use this level of product and this level of service and all of these things is why, you would want to use me as your contractor because of this. So this is just one other thing I wanted to include in here. It's a great way to help, again, our contractors have that conversation. If someone asks, well, why don't you use something else? So, and again, lots of great color resources at the bottom. All those QR codes are a great resource for the homeowner as well. So the last thing I'll leave everyone with before we head over to the live is that if you as a contractor need help with any of our Pro Plus program offerings or the Pro Plus app, the dashboard, any of the sales and the sell sheets that I shared with you, please contact your rep. Pop into any one of our 4,600 stores across the US and Canada. We've got really wonderful trained folks who just love paint and love to help our contractors be successful. So with that, Sue and I, we're going to head back over to the live section, but I will remind everyone to use that chat feature at the top of Teams. It's all the way to the left, and you can start putting your questions in there for Sue and I, and we will meet you over there shortly. Thanks, Sue.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation with me and with Sue. Sue, if you want to go ahead and unmute your line and show us your beautiful face. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
So right now, I'm really excited. Again, we've got Sue with us. She has so much expertise when it comes to colors and helping homeowners. And I just loved our conversation so much. So feel free right now to use the chat feature, and this is your chance to ask any questions about color, about Sherwin tools, maybe some of the tips that we shared during the pre-recording. And we'd love to hear your tips too. So this is all about us sharing together and helping each other out. So while we're waiting for some of the questions to come in, Sue, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about our newest tool that I referenced in the pre-record, but the new color expert.
Yes. So timing was perfect. I'm going to go to my phone and pull it up. For those that have not pulled up the app, if you can see, it's awesome. I don't know. Is that reading? Is that coming through?
Yeah. A little bit.
It's a next generation tool for us. So we took AI technology and we employed it to basically help consumers navigate the color selection process in a much easier way. So for instance, if a homeowner goes in and says, I love agreeable gray and I want to see it in a bathroom and a kitchen and a this and a that, the visualizer technology will take that color throughout the process. So the homeowner can just see agreeable gray and all these different options and different lighting effects with all these different sort of visualization prompts, and then take that all the way through color samples, through basically the experience of path to purchase in this app. And it's really, really easy to use. So I think from a pro perspective, it could be a very valuable tool. For instance, if somebody likes Tradewin, but they want something a little darker, it's easy to navigate the system without you having to try to fumble around with a fan deck or get color chips or samples and materials in real time. It's an easier kind of pathway to selection process. So again, it's brand new. I'm really, really excited to see where it goes. There's palettes in here. So pre-selected color palettes. If a customer has no idea what they're looking for, but they kind of think they like, natural neutrals, you can help them navigate through that that sort of color selection process through these palettes. So it's really cool.
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit about, we've got some questions coming in, but the last piece is the AI technology where a homeowner can take a picture, or the pro, of a room, and it will pull in colors and make recommendations.
It will. So again, that AI recognition tool, it gathers, I don't know, through the process, it's, the way it was developed, it easily selects sofas and walls and separates trim and highlights on a homeowner's own photo. and then renders that photo. And it's really actually pretty photorealistic, so that they can visualize their space immediate. It doesn't take 10 minutes. It takes 2 minutes. I mean, it's really a really easy interface. Takes a couple seconds to play around with. It's great.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure. So Jim asks, it's our first question. Thank you, Jim. I'm often asked, this is a good one. I'm often asked about ceiling color. White is traditionally used, but do you have some general design tips for other options?
So we call the ceiling the fifth wall these days, because homeowners are a little more willing to take a risk by putting color up on the ceiling. So I tend to, unless you have a really, really daring homeowner that's going to go for something dramatic, little changes can make a big impact. So say you don't want to do white, but you want to do a little bit darker gray, go sometimes a few shades lighter or a few shades darker than the wall color, maybe for like a dramatic effect. Or you could, I try not to do offsetting colors. So if you're doing a blue room, I wouldn't necessarily do a yellow ceiling, even though it's a complementary color. That might be too much. So sometimes values of light and shades, darker and lighter, are really impactful instead of just defaulting to the boring white. I do love it when you paint a ceiling a color and then the crown that same color. It looks really very sophisticated and separated from the wall color.
Yeah, I would say controversial take. My husband, I know you know Sue, because he also works with us and loves color. Just painted an entire room that the wall, the trim, and the ceiling all the same color, and I was terrified of it. And it is so chic. It looks incredible. So
it does.
It's amazing.
And I think, my takeaway is that homeowners are more excited about color and taking risks these days. Maybe it's Instagram and they see so much inspiration out there in the world that they want to try something new and unique in their home. And so it's just a great time to offer up those ideas. And again, take them to an app that can help them visualize it. And then ultimately you sell more gallons and more time on the job. So it's a win.
Do you know if the Color Expert app is available in Canada also?
I don't believe yet. Okay. I think there's some marketing folks on the chat. So yes, color drenching. You're right.
Color drenching. Yes.
That's absolutely right.
But we'll look into the question on the Sherwin-Williams Color Expert app for Canada. I'm going to go back up to some of these other questions. Color Expert is the process of virtual visit with a client and then an in-person step if needed. I think what you're referring to, Jeff, is virtual color consultations, and it is 100% virtual, and you would be surprised how much gets accomplished in those 30-minute virtual calls, because again, they follow up with the homeowner and send those color chips directly to the homeowner's home, or they say, pop into one of your local Sherwin-Williams stores and you can get chips today if you want to. So it is all virtual, and it's has about, I think, a 95% satisfaction rating. So you can feel confident recommending it to your customers. We have another question. Virtual consultations for cabinetry too. Absolutely. Your homeowners could absolutely use it for that. Adam asks, do you have any design tips that talk about what would be a good primer color under the main color? For example, doing red. It's terrible to paint over certain other colors, question mark.
So I pulled out my fan deck because there used to be an indicator on the back of our chips that was like a color prime rating. So it was like a pea shaded primer from like 1 to 5, and it's not on the fan deck anymore. So I'm going to go see on the visualizer if it's on the color detail pages. And if it is, that's a really good, question. It is not. So I would say anytime you're trying to get to red, using a mid to darker tone gray will help. Like if you need a specific color, I would say something in the lines of, Dorian gray. It will help you get to red faster. Any sort of chroma will help, and like depth of value to get you closer to red, because I can agree it can be tough to get there.
And really leaning on your store, Sherwin-Williams store associates, they should be able to help give that advice as well.
Agreed.
So, but that's a great tip. Any trends for tray ceilings?
Other than lighting, like the biggest trend that I'm seeing is designers using lighting like LED lighting for interesting effect on tray ceilings. So it's not so much about the paint color, it's how that lighting technology can really impact a ceiling display. But I would say if your clients are interested in enhancing sort of a specialized ceiling, again, don't offer up something that's probably too outlandish in color, like maybe, tonal neutrals on ceilings could be more interesting, a little more sophisticated.
Okay. I'm looking through this person, David. What are you laughing at?
The Dorian Gray comment. I know I did not name that paint color, but it's a good one.
That's funny. Okay, Brenda asks, do you recommend a lime wash that gives a clouds effect for ceiling?
So we used to have a product, we do not. So I don't know who's in the lime wash space these days. I can follow up and get you some ideas on product. I think there's a couple players in the sort of faux finish space. It's definitely part of the trend conversation. I've heard words like Tuscan troweling and sandy, like sanded finish and troweled looks.
Which is funny because that feels so like 20 some years. I remember doing that when I was first married.
It is like starting
and it was the look
creep back in as we're talking about like, organic modern interiors, and it's white on white and textural. People are getting a lot of interest in like textural shades on the wall. We just have not seen enough interest to develop a product again. But it doesn't mean that it won't happen. So I can follow up and get your name and send you a note if I know of a product out there. I do like a good lime wash. It's very European. It looks great.
So, Sue, do you know if the coordinating colors are on the back of the chips in Canada? I believe that they are.
I believe that they are. Yeah, I don't know why we would have taken them off. So I'm pretty sure the coordinates are on the back. If nothing else, they're on the website as well. Trying to get paint colors. Let me just double check here.
Sure. So as you are looking for that, we already asked that question. How do you see both recommended coordinating colors and similar colors under a specific color on the website? That is a great question. I'm not sure.
I know. Say that again.
I'm not sure. How do you see both recommended coordinating colors and similar colors under a specific color on the website?
So now that I'm looking at it, I think, oh, there they are. So can I share? I can share screen, right?
Sure. You're Sue Wadden. You can do whatever you want.
I know. So don't judge my desktop if you can see it. So here's the coordinates. So if you go, I love orange. So baked clay is a really pretty color. So you go to the baked clay, you navigate. So get to color by family. Okay, here, I love this color. It's so great. Here's the coordinates. And then you can get full details so you can understand, LRV, other collections that it's available in. It'll navigate to samples.
Can you make the size a little bit bigger in your browser? Like, can you bump it up a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
Sorry, I'm making you do a lot of work today. Perfect.
That's okay. You can upload a photo here, and this is just on the visualizer tool. So in the app, it's also easy as well.
How do you know, or do you know how I can find coordinating color for vinyl safe exteriors?
So we are working on updating that on our landing page. I think contact us if you have a rep that you work with or a DAE. Potentially they can reach out and get you some coordinates. There's a very prescriptive list of colors that are vinyl safe. They're usually mid to light to mid value. So nothing too dark. I would say the reflectance value can't be over 60. And I know that they can't have a yellow pigment in them. So that's a pretty detailed list. So I think if you have specific questions, we can help you out with that, but maybe navigate
go to the store.
Store. Yep.
What approaches do you take to pull out color preferences from customers?
Well, so there's a couple. First, I start with like, tell me what you love. I know that sounds so obnoxious, but it does help. So like, if someone's like, I really love this rug and it is staying in this room, it's really important. You can help guide them in color selection based on that thing. If they're totally starting from scratch, they don't care about anything that's in there, they're all going to buy all brand new. Maybe like start with a retailer that you like. Do you like Pottery Barn? Do you like Restoration Hardware? Do you shop at Target? Like sometimes those brands help drive a conversation. For instance, if someone loves Pottery Barn, I know that they like sort of an upscale traditional look. So I know that that would be a safe bet for like neutrals, navies, greens, that kind of family would be something that that customer is used to. I often, sometimes I talk about mood, maybe if it's related to a bedroom. Do you want a soft and soothing space? Do you want something darker? Is it a baby's room? Are there, specific themes? So sometimes like narrowing the funnel is a good approach. And those are kind of the three ways I start.
Or you can always send them a link to a virtual color consultant and they can ask all the questions for you.
Definitely.
Okay, here's another question. Are dark exterior colors, such as for a modern farmhouse, just a trend, or will they last the test of time?
So I will say it's been crazy post-COVID how many people are interested in dark exteriors. I think that it's come from this idea of like snuggling in and sort of nurturing, and there's this definite affinity. But what I think is so interesting is the high contrast. So white and black, or white and bronze, or white and brown, or white and charcoal. From window manufacturers to siding manufacturers to us as paint brands, we are not seeing that trend slow down with homeowners. So I think it's important to educate on exterior colors. For instance, if you are in the desert, painting black is going to be difficult. It's going to heat up the house. It's going to have definite fade issues. So you have to talk about premium products. You have to make sure to work with your store and your associates so that those beautiful dark colors stand the test of time. And it's presented, it's a challenge that we haven't faced really for exteriors because there is this absolute love of dark, rich hues. And it's not just black or gray. It's deep greens, it's navy, sort of darker reds are starting to peek back in exteriors. So again, like those premium products are really important because you want them to last.
What's your favorite color? People ask you that?
Yeah. So it changes, but it doesn't always change. So it's a color called Anonymous. It's a warm gray, almost a brown gray. I painted my house this color 10 years ago, 16 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you know exactly where it's at. That's hilarious.
I love it. It looks great inside, outside. It's very dramatic, but it can be very crisp with white trim. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to keep looking through here. What is the best, most accurate LRV reader on the market?
So I would say that our chips are that, and I can tell you why. Our lab, when we develop these colors, they do a light reflectance reading based on their like very technical tools. And that reading is transcribed onto the color chip. So what you see on our website, what you see on our chips, that is like the best possible. On our ColorSnap match tool, I believe that light reflectance is in that tool, but I don't know that for sure. So I would say when in doubt, check our chips first.
Or online, apparently. So we did find out that the chips in Canada have the LRV, but not the coordinating colors. But you can go on sw.com and find them there as well.
Okay.
Is duration still the best for exterior grade paint?
They tell me,
take it.
They tell me yes. So duration is a kind of an amazing product. It's not the most expensive. It's definitely in our premium category, but it really performs well. I would say only surpassed by Emerald Rain Refresh, which is our new product, which is self-cleaning technology. And no lie, I painted our shed Urbane Bronze, which is really dark, in Emerald Rain Refresh, and I did it during COVID. So what, 2020, summer of 2020, and it looks as crisp and amazing as the day I painted it. So whatever it is about that self-cleaning technology, especially with dark colors, it washes down with rain or hose, and the dust and silt and debris and pollen and all that stuff just like melts away. It looks great. So either product, super strong recommendation.
Yeah. And I think those are great opportunities to upgrade homeowners too, because I know sometimes, we talk with pros and they're a little nervous or a little hesitant to offer that upgrade. But I think if you help explain to your homeowner, like if you want to keep your color looking as good as it did, as the moment I walk away, these are some of the products you're going to want to consider. They will cost a little more, but here's what can really help preserve that color and that look for you. So I always say never assume you know what someone is willing to pay for something, because they might value something more than you're aware of.
Yeah. And I will say this, we painted our garage in anonymous, so to match the house. And we built our garage in 2016. No, 2006. And it is now just this year starting to look a little faded. So like duration, it's not peeling, it's not cracking, it's not doing any of the things that you would think after 15 plus years. It looks really good. So I highly, highly recommend that product. Maybe it's too good. Maybe you want to paint more than every 15 years.
That's why we've got these color trends, right?
Yes. Right.
All right. So I'm going to go back up. We've got a couple more colors. What education certification makes someone a color consultant? Or is there any standard criteria? So I will say some of that is proprietary, so we're not going to give specifics, but we definitely have a very robust training for any of our color consultants that they go through to make sure that they're giving the best advice. And I mentioned this a little bit in our pre-recording, but also learning how to help boost a customer's or a homeowner's confidence. There's a lot of hand-holding that can sometimes happen. And so there's just a lot of training that goes around the actual color theory, but then also just how to work with the homeowner to kind of assuage their concerns or their nerves, because sometimes homeowners really do want to try something bold and different. They just need someone to coach them through it.
Look, I understand the pain of being a painting contractor or a designer. You are in somebody's home, in their personal space, talking to them about their environment, and it is part psychology, part painting contractor, part best friend, right? I mean, it is like a coaching moment in so many ways. So I would say the best thing that you can do is get resources to help support you so that you're not on that journey by yourself. And whether that's a virtual consultation, whether that's a color tool, something to help that journey, because it can be hard for homeowners. They get frustrated. They see this and completely lose their minds. That's too much. So any of the tools that you can have with you to help that journey, it's only going to help you in the long run and kind of avoid frustration, because I know how hard that can be.
So let's see what else we have in here. If you have to measure LRV on an older home, what gadget is the best LRV reader to use? I guess we kind of talked about that already. Do we have an interior primer with low or no VOCs?
I don't know that about primer. Maybe one of the marketing folks on the call can. Yes, there we go.
Oh,
thanks, Danielle.
Yep. Promar 200, 0 VOC. Thank you, Danielle. We have a comment that I think is very sweet from Douglas. He said, I've been in the paint business for 50 years and had always used regional paint. Always thought of Sherwin as being the bad guy. 10 years ago, Sherwin brought out the local manufacturer. I migrated to Sherwin and have been completely happy with Sherwin professionalism and support. This has been very helpful. So I will tell you, I'm glad to hear that. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on, and so we talked about this a little bit, is our job is to help painting professionals be successful. That is literally what, we work on every day, and the folks at our stores and our sales reps work on. It's something we very much pride ourselves on. So, please use those resources. Having a dedicated sales rep or a store manager, as a support system is just something that you're not going to get anywhere else, not like the way we do it. So I'm glad to hear it's been a good experience.
Me too.
Doug says, I always suggest get down to 3 colors, then do samples. Yep, samples are huge. We can talk quickly about peel and stick real quick. We've got wet samples, which are great, but the peel and stick samples that came out a few years ago are just an awesome product. They can be repositioned around a room. They can be folded around corners, used on trim. So there's lots of options now. And one little caveat with peel and stick is to remember that sheen really does impact the way a color looks. So just know that right now they're only available in one sheen. So that could slightly affect the color a little bit, but
yeah.
Well, with that, Sue, any parting words of wisdom other than go download the Pro Plus app and the Pro Color Expert? Excuse me, the Sherwin Color Expert app. But what else?
Just, you're not in this alone. We are here to help. We are here to, whether you're on a webinar talking to Christine and I live, or with your local store personnel who are amazing resources. That's what we're proud of at Sherwin-Williams, all the support, and, we're here to help and tell people to not be afraid of color. I'm tired of gray,
Right.
tired of neutrals. Let's go. It's time.
Yeah, I will say I agree with that. I was the person who only ever loved neutrals. And then my husband is very much a color fanatic like Sue is. And I have embraced all the different colors. So it really, and you know what? There's nothing else that a homeowner can do to change their home that look in such a, low cost sort of way. So
Exactly.
color's fun, but let us help them so you guys can do what you do best. So, all right. Sue, thank you so much for your time. Again, if you need additional help or resources, you can always visit our website. Thank you so much. Until next time, we thank you for your business and best of luck.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.